Hello, hello. June 21st, 24th, 2023. Good morning, thinker. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I did some research on the difference between a Siberian tiger and a Sumatran tiger because it's important. I've learned a lot about the differences between these tigers. And this is definitely a Siberian tiger. Unfortunately, the differences are quite noticeable in some way. So let's look at it real quick. Again, this is the reality of being an artist and trying to do the best you can with, imagery and things like that. So the differences between a Siberian tiger, and let's look at this Siberian tiger. So this is Siberian tiger, and a lot of the colors that we use, these kind of like pale colors that you see here. Let me see. In the head and stuff like that. That's part of a Siberian tiger. So colors are easy to change. Not a big deal there. And actually the shape of the head isn't much different, so that's good. But the Sumatran tiger is darker in color, which actually makes a lot more sense because the Siberian tiger, lots of snow, needing some more camouflage. Sumatran tiger needs to be a bit darker. Another thing that's interesting is the Siberian tiger has thicker stripes. And I guess this is more general because this case here, there's not a lot of thick stripes. And the Sumatran tiger has thinner stripes, but there's more of them. And you can kind of look at the head of this tiger. This is the Sumatran tiger. And see how packed in those stripes are. The Siberian tiger has a lot less, which again makes sense. I mean, this orange is going to stand out in the snow a lot more. So the Siberian tiger has a lot less. Here's another Sumatran tiger. Just wanted to kind of get an idea of the side of the body, what the stripes on the body look like. And there is a lot more of them, definitely on this tiger. Again, the head, there's still that kind of white next to the eyes and the white next to the chin, the right and left of the chin, not the chin, but the cheek area, I guess. The jowls, I don't know what you would call that on a tiger. This tiger looks very happy. What's interesting is it looks like from what I can tell, the ears are dark around the edge, so we have darker ears there. Not so much on this Sumatran tiger. A bit more white on this Sumatran tiger. So pretty interesting, all the differences. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking one of these heads and seeing if we can use the structure that we've built. So this is the structure that we've built. This is the tiger that we're starting with. And in essence, this image here will still be working from, but using the structure that we can build off the top of this to change it into a Sumatran tiger. Which, by the way, I was really upset with Dreams Time. You can tell that this is a Dreams Time photo. And lots of false advertising there. I'm going to give some negative advertising to Dreams Time because they did all this advertising about, 15 images for free. And you see nowhere about which images you can get. Well, it's the quote unquote free images you can already get, number one. And number two, they still give you all of these watermarks all over it. So they're not free at all. It completely misled me. I had to put in my credit card and everything just to get this image that has watermarks all over it. Look at that, just ridiculous. And then you can't remove your credit card because it seems shady to me. So I was like, I don't even want them to have my credit card. So I had to contact their support just to remove the credit card. So Dreams Time, terrible. Don't do Dreams Time. Don't like them. A negative advertisement. That's what we need instead of being sponsored. I'm going to sponsor what you shouldn't do. Okay. Oof. That being said, we need to redraw, unfortunately. Not completely, I think, but I need to get a better understanding of that. And it's like, oh, darn, we're kind of starting over again, aren't we? No, not really. Everything that we've done up until now, we've still learned a lot from. Just want to make sure that I'm getting my structural drawing in place here with the tiger behind it. You know, I want to keep the composition that we have, so I'm just going to line up the eyes, basically. Doesn't have to be perfect. It looks like our image is a little bit too small because the paws are down there for our drawing, for our original painting. This is what I do. This is what we do. You know, it's kind of interesting because we could do all this and the painting could be unsuccessful, right? But we persevere just like the tiger, right? It all comes round, doesn't it? It's so awesome. So we're going to persevere through this just like the tiger, and we're going to keep going. The part of this image that I want to use is, you know, the stripes and everything from this tiger on the head, and try and bring that in. I do like the intensity of the gaze a bit more on this tiger, so we'll see if we can bring some of that in there as well. It would be interesting. Actually, these heads are almost in the exact same position. Let me see if I can place it over the top. The same exact position, and get it to look like it's at the head of this tiger. We've tried this before and it has not worked well. There's always something that's just a little bit off. I got the eyes placed in the right. Yeah, it's going to be all about the neck and stuff like that. What I'll have to do is not lean at all on the drawing itself, and really focus on the aspects of this tiger and pull that into the painting that we already have. So that's what I want to use from this guy. Let me put this into a folder, call it reference. I can close this guy. There is a program called PureRef, P-U-R-E-R-E-F, that I had at one point. And, you know, I know I paid for it, so I probably need to get it again. But you could have this separate window that has all of your reference images on it, and it will float above everything, and that would be really helpful for Krita. The one thing that Krita lacks that Photoshop has is the ability to take these windows, like any of these windows that I have here, and separate them out, like have them floating on their own. You can't do that in Krita. There's actually a, you know, somewhat helpful aspect of... Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to use this image. There's... Let me see. Let me look at... No. Yeah, I'm not going to use this image. I will use this one, though, because of the chest. Most of what we see on the tiger that we have is the chest. Actually, I'll use the whole thing. Little tiny image. So pure rough would be pretty nice in this aspect, to have my reference kind of floating out here in the space of nothing. There's a lot of crazy controls with it though, which was kind of annoying about it. But anyway, talk about that another time. All right. I'm going to insert a layer, group it. Call this drawing. I'm just thinking here, the best way to approach this. Yeah, I think the best way to approach this right now is to do a fill layer of a gray. Let's go darker gray. Drop down its opacity a lot. Insert a new layer. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to trace. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I think we're going to trace the beginning of this tiger's head and the body. And then we're just going to look at the drawing and the Sumatran tigers and make adjustments and really get this down. I'm not going to trace it specifically though, because I really just have this aversion to tracing, because it hurts. It doesn't hurt anybody but yourself, really. So I'm doing more of these using your shoulder straight lines everywhere. The one thing I won't do that with is these eyes. Oops. I want to get them correct placement. Using a bigger brush, not so big. Just my basic drawing brush. Making sure that I'm on the correct layer. A separate layer. And even though I'm doing this, I will still try and challenge myself as much as I can to lean on my skills. So this is the contour of the center line of the head. Maybe the nose ends here, because I like the idea of it being me in this. The one thing that I notice is, if you look at the Sumatran tiger, there's this how the stripes really follow the form and really accentuate the form. So I want to kind of just indicate how these stripes on this tiger do the same. You know, these kind of ridges. You know, it's interesting. If you look at this shape here of these stripes, how they go up like this and make these kind of wings. I mean, you see this shape everywhere. You see it, you know, on lizards, on, you know, the spine of things, like that kind of shape. I've seen that like in a million different places. It's really interesting. Evolution. It's fantastic. Get the major points down on this. The one reason I'm okay with doing this right now is because we're going to change it a lot. Not completely. We're just using this structure to adjust this tiger from a Siberian into a Sumatran. I want to get the angle of, you know, the front of this muzzle, how where all of the whiskers insert makes these wonderful lines. And then if I turn, what I could do is make this. Yeah, that's going to be the challenge. So that's all I need for the head. And here's the challenge. So yeah, was that traced? Yes. Is it giving me everything? No, not at all. It's going to be a challenge. And that's important. Always getting that challenge for yourself. Don't be lazy. You'll only hurt yourself. Using these stripes just to get the shape of the body, because we're going to change up the stripes. The center line, the contour line, this kind of disappears. I love how the front of the tiger, there's this kind of implied line there that it just kind of disappears into the side of the tiger. See, this is a really good indicator. You see this a lot within the human body, within any bodies, to give you that idea of form, where you'll have a contour line that just abruptly ends because it goes behind. This is either a muscle back there or something, and then we got a piece of bone or another muscle. This is probably bone here that supersedes it, and you get that idea of form. And then you can pretty much see with the coloration that this is the front of the leg there. Again, it happens here. So this goes in the foreground, and then it looks like this is, oh, so that's confusing. So this is the front leg, and then the back leg. I didn't even notice that before. I was making the front leg way too large. That's the back leg back there. Oh, looks like I cut off a bit of that arm. That's okay. There could be a trainer or a animal professional, a zoo professional, I guess, that has studied the differences between Sumatran tigers and Siberian tigers. And they could look at my painting and go, you know what, those paws are a little bit different. You're like, yeah, okay. I used an image from a Siberian tiger for the structure because I like that image better, but then the message is still going to be there. See, that's really confusing because you got these two stripes that kind of match perfectly. Back up. Am I looking at that right? Yeah, I think so. Get the... I love how there's like a concave area into the side of that tiger. Well fed, but not overfed. Like we all should be, right? Doesn't happen very often, especially when there's snacks in the kitchen. Tiger's like, I would love snacks in the kitchen. All right, so that's all we're going to do as far as that tiger goes. Let's pull our head down so we can see it. Let's focus just on the head. And let's do this. Let's get rid of everything but the tiger. It's one thing I like about Krita. If you know the, all of the, what am I saying, Chris? Words. If you know all the keystrokes well, you don't have to see the interface. You can really just work it all perfectly here. So I see the intensity in the gaze right away. Do you guys see it? The small change that we need to make to the eyes for that intensity to happen. It's a tiny difference, but it's there. And it's the position of the pupil. So the position of the pupil on our tiger here, let me make sure I'm on the right. No, I'm not on the right layer. Do you want to do that? Gotta be on the right layer. The position of the pupil is more in the center on this tiger. It's down just a little bit. So let's do this. Let's hit E, erase this pupil. And then we're gonna pull it down to here. Gotta do the same on the other side. Some intensity just came into the tiger there. Definitely. And I may drop down the size of my brush a lot more. This gray is so perfect. It's so neutral that I can't even see my brush. My brush cursor. The cursor is a green, like a neutral green, and it just disappears in the gray. So that's going to be fun to deal with. Okay, so the angle is pretty much the same. I'm going to start with the eyes. And we're really going to get deep into this and have some fun drawing. We have a structure that we can work from. So I've pulled out some complexity. I don't have to worry about is everything placed exactly the way it needs to be right now. I know that this eye can go here, but I'm painting the right eye of the Sumatran tiger on the right. Or drawing, really just drawing right now. So making some small changes. Really just taking my time. There's a tendency for us to just go too fast because we want to get things done, right? Take your time on these. Especially with the center of interest, your focal point. And really our focal point here is the eye of the tiger. Man, if I could play that Rocky soundtrack right now, I would. Oh wait, I forget the whoever sung that, the Eye of the Tiger. YouTube would not allow that. Some copyright going on there. I love how circular this eye is. It's just almost a perfect circle. Not that far down though. All I'm doing is using my brush with one size and hitting E to erase and hitting it again to draw. So if you, if we zoom in a little bit, these pupils are not round. They're diamond shaped almost. That's really interesting. Let's do that. It could be the image, but I don't think so. It's almost like a trapezoid. Not a perfect diamond, but it's definitely square on either side. The one thing about Krita that will get you a lot is you're on your eraser and you don't realize it. And you're like, oh man, I was on my eraser. See, am I on my eraser? Oh no, I'm not. I am on my eraser. I think they recently did something to help that out, and it's a setting that I need to look into. I'm even going to get into some value here within this drawing. Don't like that. Everything I do here, even though it may seem like, well, yeah, I'm going to take this into a oil painting, and the finished piece is really going to be an oil painting. Everything I do here, even though it's not going to, I mean, I could take it directly into oil painting, copy from this painting exactly, that kind of thing. But you retain more than you think. There's an inversion sometimes to do things twice. Yes, I understand. There's some efficiency there that you want to have within your artwork. There's definitely some, I try to be as efficient as I can, because we all have limited time. But believe me, your brain is soaking in so much of this information. And even though it doesn't feel like it, you're learning a lot right here about the subject that we're going to paint eventually in oil. So Thinker, this is going to be a long process of this drawing. And I don't think I'm going to speed it up either. I'm not going to make it any faster. I'm not trying to make it slower. And so it's going to be several streams of you listen to me talk about, the artistic process. I'm also thinking that Well, all that compositional work that we did, has that gone to waste, Chris? No, not at all. I'm still using that entire composition. Really, the biggest change is going to be with the head of this tiger, and the coloration, which is not really changing much. But it's important that what's important to me that we get this right, that we actually pick the tiger that we want to represent. The Sumatran tiger is critically endangered. Thank you. I'm all for the process. Yes. Thanks, Tinker. The Sumatran tiger is critically endangered. And bringing some awareness to that. And, maybe what I could do is provide some practical application to it as well, because it's one thing to say, oh, this tiger's critically endangered and it's so awful and blah, blah, blah. But there's, that kind of leaves you with a sense of helplessness. Like, what the hell am I going to do about it? I'm just trying to make a living here. And we'll have to talk about things that we all can do easily to help out these amazing animals across the world. I mean, donating money is one thing, but honestly, the biggest impact that we can make is within our habits. I'm not going to talk about any of that right now because I'm not sure. They're most likely endangered because of habitat loss. That's, most of the animals on the planet are just losing habitat. But I would have to see what industry is causing that. And usually it's an industrial kind of process that does it. One of the biggest ones is palm oil. And at some point I'll talk about, what we can do to get healthier ourselves and help Sumatran tigers at the same time. And it just takes, changes in your habits. That's looking really good right away. If you notice, I'm working on value ranges as well. Oops. Such a subtle change, like just a little bit of pressure difference in Krita and you have a straight line. It looks to me like the intensity of the Sumatran tiger's gaze is augmented by the shoulder/back showing behind the head. Yeah, the pose. Kind of they're hunkered down a bit, right? I could see that. I mean, there is definitely some intensity there. Like the whole body is pointing to whatever this tiger's looking at. Most likely food or something to play with. It's so funny. Because my wife has been a zookeeper for forever. It's almost like, it's a normal thing for me to, go with her into the back areas of a zoo because every zoo she's worked at, I've been, back there before. And it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. I've done it a ton of times, and kind of, take for granted how cool that is. But when you look at big cats, and of course, I mean, these are dangerous animals. So they're protected contact, which means there's always a barrier in between them and the zookeeper. There's no petting the kitty here. I mean, I know you see shows and things like that where the big tigers are out there, and most likely that ends up negatively for whoever is trying to train the tiger. It's happened multiple times over and over again. But anyway, um, we would go back and I would see these tigers and they would play just like our cats at home. They would find a box to sit in at the Woodland Park Zoo here in Seattle. There's a, what is it? Oh darn, it's a big cat. And I forgot the type of cat. But anyway, the cat's name is Fitz. And Fitz. And I gave Fitz a box. And if you know anything about cats, if they fits, they sits. And that's exactly what Fitz did. He fits, so he sits. And they did this whole kind of funny meme about Fitz. Fitz sitting in his box, had these pictures of him sitting in this big, and of course it was a big box. Just like a cat. And then at one point, I think one of the big cats were, just loving on something like house cats do. So it's funny, it's just, they have the same mannerisms sometimes, just as house cats, but just a much larger size. Much larger size, much dangerous size. So I'm really drawing exactly from the markings on the Sumatran tiger as well. But I'm looking at them in how they describe the form. Don't forget that, don't forget to pull out and, to move away from your drawing a bit, okay? If you look at, this is a Siberian tiger on the left that we're working from, the structure of the head. This is the brow, like the beginning of the brow. And actually, I had that angle correct the first time. The same thing exists on the Siberian tiger or the Sumatran tiger. And the stripes here describe that, like the curve of the brow so well. It's really interesting. It's a wonderful way to learn form, honestly. Look at the stripes on a tiger. I bet you could do the same thing with a zebra. Look at the stripes on a zebra. And you'll understand the form of a zebra. So, also what I'm doing is I'm erasing just a little bit of the Siberian tiger, those indications that I put in there. And then I will do an outline of the stripes from the Sumatran tiger. So this stripe that kind of goes up this way, it still describes the form there, but it's a small change. It goes right along the ridge that changes from the front of the forehead to the side of the head. There's this wonderful kind of chunk of black there as well. So much appreciation is created when you paint or draw something that you enjoy, right? Or that hopefully you enjoy it, or something that you want to focus on. You can, it's kind of a monetary term as well. Appreciate. So if you have wealth, if you have money at all, actually you don't have to be wealthy, but your funds can appreciate. And usually everything appreciates when you focus on it. It's an interesting connection there. If you want to do that for your health, for your art skills, for your family, for anything, if you want it to appreciate, if you want it to grow, to expand, you just focus on it. You appreciate it. Okay. Looking good there. I have to constantly remind myself that I'm not using the structure of the Sumatran tiger, not that head structure. I'm using the head structure of the Siberian tiger. Tiger on the left. Sorry, give me 1 second. I need to report somebody trying to spam my channel. Ah. Ridiculous. Kind of sad. Yeah, I've done, and I'm still doing a lot of research on YouTube as far as not really what works, but my videos on demand that I do, I did a lot of research and I put a lot of time and effort in on figuring out how to record videos that look professional, right? Because the one thing that I know is if you have quality content, people will take you a bit more seriously, right? If I was sitting on my couch with my phone just recording some videos, maybe the message that I have is really great. Maybe it's universal, maybe it's fantastic, but there's always that level of trust that's involved, right? Like, what do you know? You're just sitting on your couch with your cell phone. So I did a lot of research within YouTube, for video quality and all that kind of stuff. And then I did a lot of research on marketing as well. Which, as an artist, this is one thing that I had a huge aversion to before. Actually, that's what stopped me from painting or doing art for like 5 years. One of the biggest mistakes in my life. Don't really regret it. It is what it is. It happened. Learn from it. Have a lot more gratitude for putting time and effort in. But after reading books like from Seth Godin, Derek Sivers, watching a lot of tutorials and videos from Darren Hardy as well, and really getting this understanding that marketing can be used in several ways. Yes, I'm talking about marketing on an art stream because artists need to know this, number one. And many artists have this kind of aversion to marketing because it seems sleazy, especially when we are putting all of our heart into our art and to market it in a lot of ways. If you think about the old way of marketing, I'm going to call it, it is sleazy. It's terrible. It's like people on the side of the street with a big sign, you know, yelling and screaming, come see me, come do this, look at that, look at this, you know, that kind of thing. And that's not the type of marketing I'm talking about. So I did a lot of marketing to understand the best way to help people, the best way to communicate to individuals, to provide as much value as possible. And I'm still learning that. There's a lot that goes into it. And as artists, I think well, I know it's really important. It's very simple in some aspects as well. Show your work. Regardless of what you think about it, regardless of how amateur you may think it is, show your work. Show it to others. Get over the usually that kind of initial shock of showing your art, that fear. Feel the fear, walk through the door, that fear door, and grow as a person by showing your work. So the show that I'm in right now, when I walked in to deliver the artwork, there was so much great figure work there. It was just fantastic. Okay, what happened? I hit something. Excuse me. I can't erase that line. What's going on? I'm on the correct layer. Let me save just in case. Is that on a different layer somewhere? Oh no, I think I might have painted on the wrong layer at some point. Yep. Balls. Okay, no problem. We got this. Because, you know, those can be merged later. Well, I'd rather not merge them later. Oh, geez. Let me see if I hide this layer. Let's do this first. Let's insert a new layer. Okay, that's one of the things with digital art. I have to like totally sidetrack what I was talking about before. Okay, no, please fill the whole thing. Why did the opacity go way down? Thank you. Yeah, there's a bit of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go back into this layer, select the background color, and erase what I need to erase a little bit at a time. I can keep it kind of fuzzed out there. Okay. So yeah, show your work, because I walked into this show and everything that I saw that was in there was just beautiful work. And of course, what you think about that is, okay, give me a second. I need to change back to my color. What usually happens is you look at their work and you think, wow, I'm just nowhere near what they're doing. Their work is just so much better than mine. So I walked out of there and I was like, okay, good. You know, I put a piece in a show, you know, I did my due diligence. It was a good day. I went out and I saw, you know, I got to visit with a friend that I haven't seen in a month or so. So it was a good day. And then, you know, I got an email probably 2 days later or something. They said, hey, you won a prize. And I'm like, it's probably like an honorable mention or something. which still should be good. I mean, honestly, I should look at that as a positive, right? Not like, oh, who cares? And that I was kind of in that mode because I really had that judgment going, right? That kind of negative idea. And then, and the person, she asked, can you come out? And I'm like, well, the show is like way past my bedtime. So for an honorable mention, no, I'm not going to come out for that. That's not going to happen. It's not worth it, right? And then I replied, I said, no, it's I just can't come out that late. I'm sorry. And then she sent me another email. She's like, well, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but you won Best in Show. And I was, I just like mouth agape looking at that email going, are you kidding me? Really? So I went to the darn show. I was up super late and I was super tired. It was fantastic. I'm still thinking about it today going, really? I won Best in Show? How was that? Oh, another one. Hide user on this channel. And then also report. So the point of that story is basically to say, show your work. And if you feel like it's terrible, this is a subjective field. What you think is one opinion of your own work, and it is not the definitive opinion ever. And if someone tells you your work is crap, that's one opinion. Out of 8 billion people on this planet, there are a huge percentage of those people that would look at your work and do one of several things. Think it's amazing, think it's no good, think it's so amazing that they're inspired by it to keep working, to do their art. Think it's so awesome that you change their life just by sharing. And it doesn't have to be in a show, honestly. You don't have to go show your work in a gallery or something like that. Yeah, it's up on my website. I got everything on my website, Thinker. Literally everything. Every single day of bad drawings, good drawings. Days when I was in the hospital. Days when I only got a 30-minute sketch done. Everything's there. If you go to my website and you go to paintings, you can click on any painting and see the entire process for all of those paintings or my drawings, because I post about every one. And the one that won Best in Show is called Vulnerability 3. It's actually probably my favorite, one of my most favorite figure paintings that I did at that time. I put a lot of emotion into that work, so it obviously showed to someone. And I'm sure if I showed it at 30 different shows, I would get nothing from most of them, maybe an honorable mention or something like that. And that would be totally cool, because it's all about that subjective idea. So you put your work out there, you get over the fear, and you market yourself as an artist just by showing up and say, hey, look at me, look at what I did. What do you think about this? And then grow from it. It's really important. If you look at my website as well, you look at one of the very first posts that I did. Actually, there's a post on there from January 26, 2013, 10 years ago. Coming up on my 10-year anniversary of art every single day. you'll see a post on there. It's called First Painting in 5 Years. And the post right before it is a digital painting that I saw from, I can't remember the artist's name right now. I'm actually going to perk these ears up. That painting that the artist probably just threw somewhere on a website. Maybe they were happy with it. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. It changed my life for the best. I knew that I needed to get back to art, because if I didn't, I would regret it for the rest of my life. I had one of those moments, those kind of like end of life moments, right? Where you're thinking, man, if I don't do this, I know that I'll be 90 years old and just, you know, doing whatever and feeling terrible about it. And it was that painting that was like, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back, but I don't like that analogy. That was the one proponent, the extra brick in the wall that got me going again. Now, I'm not sure the artist, you know, what they thought about that work, if it was not that important to them. But to me, it could be one of the most important pieces of art that I've ever seen, because they shared it. So you have that opportunity as well. You can change lives with your images. I'm an example of that. I wonder, what I'm thinking about right now is I'm wondering if, once I get further into this drawing and painting of this tiger, I wonder if I'll get more people showing up. Like maybe they'll come in and they'll go, oh, wow, that's really good, so I'm going to stick around. But at this point, it's like, it's just some guy at the beginning of a drawing. I'll come back when it's, you know, something cool to see. Where's the entertainment value? There's nothing here. We'll see. It's going to be a good test. I love how on the nose there is this like dark black outline. This little funnel here that happens all around the nose. It makes me think about evolution and, you know, why the tiger evolved to look this way, to have all these differences. I'm going to actually remove that line a little bit, and we're going to try and describe the shape. Oh, thank you, thinker. Vulnerability 3 is excellent. Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. You can see the entire process of that one. Actually, all of them. My painting of Patrick on there, a friend of mine. Oh, I haven't seen him since I took the pictures for that painting, which was years and years ago. COVID happened. That took like 140 some sessions or something. I was not feeling particularly in the mood for painting for months, so I just did my minimum. And if you watch any of my videos on YouTube, it's one thing that I talk about a lot is establishing a minimum. If you want to do art every single day for the rest of your life, you have to be practical about it. You can't just say, yeah, I'm going to do an oil painting every single day for the rest of my life. Yeah, right. Yeah, one day you're going to wake up and go, I really don't feel like doing this today. Or I'm so sick, I can't get out of bed. And there goes that streak, right? So you pick something that you can accomplish no matter what. 30-minute sketch. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen. You don't even need that. I saw people draw with a chocolate bar. Got a chocolate bar? Do a drawing on a piece of paper, on a wall, whatever. Yeah, that has proved to be so useful for me that it's what has kept me at this streak that I'm almost at 10 years. Actually, the numbers on my website are already showing 10 years. So I'm thinking that my numbering system on each post on my website is off in some way, so I need to figure that one out. That's going to be fun. When you get to 3,650 some odd posts on your website, and each one has multiple images, like my host is complaining. my website host is like, yeah, you have quite a bit of images here, and yeah, we need to charge you more. Like, what are you doing? Art every day for the rest of my life. That's what I'm doing. So we're 1 hour in on today's live stream. And you know what? I could do this for every live stream. Just pick a picture and just paint and talk. But you know what? I won't just do that. Because your time is important. And I want to provide as much value as I can within these. So yeah, I know it's good that you're sitting there talking, Chris, but how do I do what you're doing, right? Well, yeah, I'll continue to try and do that. As long as you keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them. And I'll keep trying to think of ways to help you out, especially within this digital realm of art, this fantastic digital realm of art. You want to do art every day and make it easier on yourself? Heck, buy an iPad with one of those Apple pencils. Take it with you everywhere. It's fantastic. So easy to get to art with that. Or a sketchbook and a pencil. Go old school. Make sure you bring a knife and a sharpener, though. A couple pencils, because if you break that lead, yeah, you have some problems. Anyway, here we are. Fantastic. This is looking really good. Let's back it up a bit. Oof. I'm loving that. The right side of this tiger's face has got more intensity. Before, I thought that tiger was kind of falling asleep a little bit, but now we're on the hunt. I see perseverance in those eyes. I see, a tiger striving to never give up. I see a hungry tiger. I feel hungry, literally and figuratively. I'm hungry for more art, for more videos, for more help. Yeah, I'm gonna be providing every single Krita document on my Gumroad if you want to get those downloads if you're watching this later, because there's no one on the stream but the awesome Thinker. Thank you for showing up. If you want to get that, it's on my Gumroad. See the description, the link in the description. If you want 50 off, use CB50 off, OFF, and you'll get 50 off that. It's only $10, but I know how it is for artists that aren't making a lot of money. $5 for, and right now we're up to 25. Yeah, today's day 25 of this live stream. And there's downloads. This day's not up there yet. I need to catch up on those, but there's downloads for 25 plus days. I don't have any plans on stopping anytime soon. Maybe one day I'll have to split it off into a second product because it'll have 100 different sessions in it with downloads. Anyway, but that's for all the resources. But every single day, or every time I do it, these live streams are free. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, Thinker, for being here. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Look for that schedule. See you then. Bye-bye.